Wakasashi's Tea House. Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. This is Gray from Wakasashi's Tea House over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you genki? I'm a little bit genki. I'm pretty good. It's early in the morning here and I had some crazy dreams last night. Didn't sleep very well. I kept waking up. Do you ever get those nights where, yeah, I think maybe because I was looking forward to this stream and I couldn't sleep that well. I was a bit freaked out when I woke up. So I came down once in the middle of the night. I'd heard a weird noise. Do you ever get that? I heard a weird noise in the night and came down to have a look and just something had fallen over, that's all, downstairs. But I've got kind of supersonic hearing or something because I hear things like so easily. I get woken up so easily. Don't know why. How about you? Do you have good sleeps? Do you have any dreams? Do you remember your dreams? A lot of people don't, I believe. I always remember like bits and pieces of mine, but yeah, completely bonkers usually. And unfortunately, no sexy dreams last night. What a shame. How are you doing? Nice to see Nosferatu out in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Weird? Yeah. No, it wasn't one of those, man. It wasn't one of those. What are you saying? So today, Monday morning in Japan, Monday, where are we? The 7th of February. I want to do a kind of short reaction to a movie I watched at the weekend. It was on, I think it came on Amazon Prime. It's called Northern Soul. It's a British movie, an indie movie, independent movie back in 2014 it came out. Tell you what, I had a great time watching this movie. I hugely recommend it. Not only was it a good movie, it was a good story, but it was set in Lancashire, close to where I grew up, and it was set in the 1970s. I think it opens in like 1974, the year after I was born. So it was like, going back home kind of thing. Like, oh, so happy to see that. So yeah, maybe I'm a bit biased with this one, but I want to show a few pictures from it. So what I'll do, I'm going to make Grey small again. Grey going smaller. And here we go. So it kind of opens up like this. This is the view you get. The classic terraced houses in the north of England. So Lancashire. Lancashire is kind of the county. I don't know if it's a town as well. It's a county, Lancashire. And I'm from Manchester. But in Manchester, like a smaller town in Manchester, if that makes sense. And you see these kind of terraced houses everywhere. It's really weird maybe for people in America. I don't think you've got this kind of housing. The houses are all like in rows, like joined together, and they're split into, individual houses. You go in and it's like a long house that way, but pretty small, very working class. They used to build these kind of, I think it was like built for the factory workers back in the Industrial Revolution times, when wow, we're getting very historical here, aren't we? When the cotton industry was kicking off big time in the UK, especially in the north of England, towns like Manchester, they kind of built new towns built for housing the workers, to work in the factories in those areas. So yeah, just looking at those houses, it's like, mate, so no, what do you say? In Japanese we say natsukashi. Natsukashi means like it makes me feel nostalgic, or it reminds me of the old days. And this is this one here, this scene. So one of the main characters, just got to try and remember his name. Is it Tim or Matt? And he's walking down the street. You can see they've got the classic old car there. It just looks it's so 70s. Can you see the plant? Where are we pointing the plant? Oh, there we are, that way. We call it hydrangea. The plant there, you can see those everywhere on the streets, and it's just messy. There's leaves on the floor. It looks kind of grim and, what do you call it? Industrial, grimy, but oh mate, it just reminded me of the old days. Really nice thought. So yeah, quick summary of the film. Northern Soul is a 2014 British historical film directed by Elaine Constantine, or Constantine. Which way do you pronounce it? I'm never sure. Is it John Constantine or John Constantine from Hellblazer? Anyway, Elaine Constantine. It tells the story of two young Lancashire teenagers, Matt and John, whose lives are changed forever by the discovery of American soul music and the dance culture that grew up around it in Britain around that time. This film was selected to be shown in the City to City section of the 2015 Toronto Film Festival. Is that right? It's not Toronto, is it? Very British. Oh, I live in Toronto. No, Toronto. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the stream. So, yeah, this main character is John. John! Oh, my dear old dad. That was my dad's name, John. So, where are we? And then there's a great scene here. Again, this is just the opening few scenes where look at the clothes, look at the women. They've just come out of work. They've come out in the factory. I love the colours, love those coats, the hairstyles. Whether women were blonde or not, blonde used to be really popular, so women would get the hair coloured, that kind of blonde colour. It just looks so real. This was shot in 2014, but this is the 70s. I mean, I was only a little boy. I was like a young kid. I was born in 73, so I only remember the kind of end of the 70s, like 77, 78, 79, 77, when Star Wars came out. I remember that. I didn't go and see it in the cinema because I was too young. I think it didn't come out in the UK maybe till the next year, maybe delayed. But yeah, I remember seeing it on TV the first time. Wow. But look at Gray digressing again. So as Nosferatu says in the chat, yeah, gotta love the hair. Look at the hairstyle. It's so cool. And I just love the coats and stuff for the shoot. It's got all the details, mate, perfectly. So let's see. And this is the town he's supposed to live in. This is John's town, Burnsworth. Someone's written on the wall there, Burnsworth FC. That's the football, or in American English, soccer. That's a football team. And someone else has written, they've crossed out FC. They put is a shithole. Burnsworth is a shithole. So I tell you, mate, these old, like really old industrial towns, they really were. They can be shitholes. And they're often in beautiful locations. They're up on the hills somewhere in the countryside. England does not have very high hills and not hardly any mountains, so it's not that kind of scenery. But you got lovely green fields and trees, farming areas just on the outskirts of these towns. So you could get out. You could get to the countryside. But yeah, in the actual city, in the towns, pretty grim. There's a famous phrase that we say, "It's grim up north." It wasn't that grim, I mean, I'm from the north. How can it be grim? So, John is just he's an ordinary boy. He's getting a little bit bullied at school. He's into poetry. He likes song lyrics and things. He writes things down in his notebook. He's not into school. He's kind of studying it, but he's just going through the motions. And then he goes to the local youth club. Again, this is very British, the youth club, where they have a disco and they have like a pool table. And in the toilets, he sees this like sign, Northern Soul, with a raised fist, a black fist. And he meets a guy called Matt in there. He meets Matt on the dance floor. Matt's dancing, and he's dancing this really weird style that John's never seen before. John's kind of, at the beginning, he's kind of like half laughing, he's a bit embarrassed, like laughing, but Matt's dancing style, it looks cool. And the more he watches, the more he's getting into it. Anyway, Matt's getting teased off a couple of the local idiots, a couple of the bullies. So there's the classic English, piss off, mate. The two fingers, the V, not the V for victory, like, where are we? Winston Churchill, but the piss off. Yeah, it's classic. Shall I read the Japanese subtitle on it? Say I took this screenshot from Amazon Prime Japan. So I say I don't know if it's out in Amazon Prime on in the US or in the UK, but look out for it. Northern Soul. It says, what is it? Sono no debo to aho. It's like, oh, you fat stupid idiot. He's saying to the bully, oi, fatty. Nosferatu. I went a bit cockney then, didn't I? Just for you. Oi, fatty. What you doing, mate? Anyway, let's get on with it. So, what happens is the fat bully attacks Matt, and John, surprisingly, little weakling John, a bit like me, John jumps in to help, and they fight the guy off, and Matt's pretty, once he gets his fist in, he's pretty good, he's pretty handy. He kind of he's styling himself a little bit on Bruce Lee. He's not doing kung fu, but he's like thinking about it. And Bruce Lee comes up in the movie because it's 1974. Just after, I think Enter the Dragon was it 73? Is that right? Anyway, so they go back to was it Matt? Yeah, they go back to Matt's flat, his little place where he's living, and Matt's talking about this dance scene that's taken over, especially in the north, and they want to go. He's talking about, I want to go to Wigan. Now, Wigan is another grim town up north, and it's popular. It's famous for Wigan Casino, where they have these Northern Soul dance nights. I don't know if it's like every week or once a month. And I say it's weird. I don't know why this kind of scene took off then, in the UK. Of course, we got into it kind of late. So you're talking from the early 1970s, Northern Soul, black soul music became really popular with the white working class. So, fascinating stuff. Let me just get to the chat for a sec. Yeah, Nosferatu, a little bit like the limey version of Saturday Night Fever. Exactly, yeah. Working class guys who were stuck in, the beginning is at school. John's at school, the main character. Matt's working in a dead-end job, and they live for going out at the weekend. But yeah, that's how it starts. I've got one more picture. What's this one? So Matt introduces John to some of his records. He's playing his old vinyl singles. Do you remember those? What were they? With it 75s or something? Oh, I can't remember. No, 45s. I can't remember. Yeah, and they're talking about these songs, and he's making a list of things, and yeah, John's getting interested. He's getting into it. It's basically Matt starting to bring John out of his shell. Does he get laid with poetry? No spoilers, mate. No spoilers. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go to the famous image slideshow, because I keep putting these photos one by one. It takes ages to set it up. Do you know what I mean? Listen to Gray complaining. Let's try. Let's see if this works. So I'm just going to keep talking with the boomed it, with the slide going on in the background. Okay, so here we go. We've got John at school, and he's taking his final exams, and he's just pissed off. He's messing about. He's drawing like an ink tattoo on his arm, and he stands up during the exam, and he's like, I've had enough of this. And he tells the teacher to fuck off, and everyone's like, oh, shocked, because you couldn't swear. Like, people didn't swear to your teachers back then in the UK. And he storms out. Then we've got like a scene of the local nightclub. The local youth club, where the Northern Soul disco night is getting more and more popular. The kids are dancing. It's it's good to see the kind of dance style they do. It's very different. Then John and Matt are talking about, okay, we're going to go to America, and they get passports. They get them sorted, and they've got this dream to go to America and actually get some real American soul music from the States. Then there's a drug story comes into it. They start taking amphetamines, which were, back then, they weren't illegal. I think they used to sell them as diet medicine. Diet medicine, because of course it works for that. And then they meet this crazy guy. Is it Terry? Terry's a Cockney. He's from down south, mate, but he's working up north because he loves the music. He loves the scene. He's a massive Northern Soul fan. And he takes them. He's like, come on, we're going to go to Wigan. He's got a car, Terry, so he takes them out. Now look at this transformation here. Look at John. Like, he's been working out. He's been practicing, doing push-ups. He's been doing the dance moves, and he takes off his shirt, and he looks ripped. He looks awesome. He's gone from like a skinny little beanpole, like Scarecrow, like me, to that. And then John starts to collect records, and he starts to DJ himself. He's getting into it. He's trying to find these like really hard to find tunes, which no one even knows the names of them, because of course there was no like internet or anything like that. They just had magazines and things. John meets this beautiful I don't know if she's mixed race girl, and he's been like fancying her from the distance for ages, and he's trying to build up the courage to talk to her. Again, we've got like a little scene of the local youth club, and the girls dancing. The clothes, look at the clothes, so cool. It's so 70s. Can you see the flary trousers or pants there? Oh, trousers, Graham, very British. And last one here. Life is just one precious minute. What do you reckon? I think that's one of the lyrics from one of the songs. Basically, John's been going around spray painting. It's been him doing this graffiti on the streets, and Matt can't believe it. It's like, you're the artist. You're the guy who wrote, Burnside is a shithole. It's like, yeah, it was me. So yeah, so good. It was such a fun movie. Well, no, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Not fun. Okay, it's realistic. It's a little bit dark. I had a look at some of the reviews, user reviews on IMDb, and there's quite a few people complaining, saying, like none of the characters are likable, which I disagree with. I think John's likable. They're flawed, they're realistic, they're not like perfect people, which maybe people are getting spoiled by that these days in movies. You know what I mean? What's happened to flaws? Yeah, some of them are scumbags, some of them are idiots. Everyone makes mistakes, but that's what makes it realistic. That's what makes it relatable. So yeah, okay. As I say, I recommend it, but maybe I'm biased because it's set in, near to my hometown in Lancashire in the 1970s. But the music, mate, the soundtrack, no idea of the title to the songs, but I'm going to look for this. I want to get it, if you can get it on CD, or maybe I can stream it and download it. The soundtrack is awesome. It's so good. I wouldn't consider myself particularly, into Northern Soul music, but wow. I say after this, I want to check it out. Nosferatu. Maybe after this I'm going to start doing more push-ups, because I do some. Start working out more, do a bit of Bruce Lee Kung Fu. Try and get a bit ripped. Shave me chest. Try and look like him. Try and look like John in this scene. It's so great. Okay, so that's the end of my brief review and ramble. So yeah, recommended Northern Soul, 2014, British independent movie. So let's get to the chat. It's Nosferatu. It's not really about the mod movement. No, it's this Northern Soul like craze which took off in the north of England at that time in the 70s. Yellow flowers that grow in the States called Hell's Bells, and if you boil it and drink it, the trip is more intense than acid. Really? Are you serious? No way. I think you're joking, aren't you? It's like people used to say you can smoke banana skins and get high. Did you try it? Nosferatu laughing his head off at my American accent. It's crap, mate. It's crap. I was trying to do Toronto. I can't do it now. Gray, have you ever seen the movie Whiplash? I believe it came out around the same time. It's the jazz drumming movie, yeah? With thingy in it. What's it called? Oh, I've forgotten his name. But J.K. Simmons from Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson. Are you serious? He plays the crazy, like, what do you call it? The teacher, isn't he? Is it music teacher? Drummer. Yeah, it's cool. I've seen that. Pretty intense. Yeah, this is a bit like that. It's realistic. It's a little bit dark at times. It doesn't hesitate to show the drug scene at that time. The amphetamine scene was big then, and it was kind of new, so people weren't sure what they were doing, and there would be overdoses and stuff like that. But actually, in one scene, you see the scene where you see John. When he's looking so ripped and he's dancing. Not long before that, he was passed out in the toilets at the club. He'd taken too many, or he got hit, and his friend, who's it, Matt had gone to find the lovely black nurse, Natalie. I think she's called Natalie. Gone to find her because he knows that she's a nurse. He knows John fancies her, and he goes to get her. Takes him to John, like, I think he's dying. Is he okay? Anyway, she goes to look after him, and Matt goes back out to the dance floor, and then he comes back to see where, what's happened. Is he okay? Is he all right? And they're not there. They've disappeared. He's like, oh no, shit, maybe she had to take him to hospital. And he finds her, and she's still on the dance floor. He's like, what are you doing? Where is he? And she points over there. And that's when you see this scene here where John's just pouring with sweat, like ripped, veins bulging out of his neck. You know what I'm talking about, Nosferatu. It's a great scene. Okay. Do they do the hustle or the electric slide? Again, I've no idea the names. I've no idea about Northern Soul. I had heard of it. What's interesting is when I was growing up, we moved from the first town I lived in. We moved to a place called Whitefield. We moved to a place called Swinton, and I met a guy there. This is like early 1980s, and his older brother was into Northern Soul. This was like 10 years after the movie's set, so it's kind of the end of the scene, maybe the dregs of the scene. But his brother collected the same little vinyl singles and used to play them, and I'd hear it thinking like I was like 8, 9, 10 years old at that time. I had no idea about music. I was like, wow, what's this? They've got really deep, gravelly voices, and now I didn't know what to think of it because I was used to British pop, the charts at that time. Wow, Gray, take a breath, Gray. Anyway, here's some green tea in the morning. I'm drinking a nice pot of sencha, yeah. Tea made from Mary Jane. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, not in the morning, mate. Not before I go to work. Yeah, Nosferatu says, yeah, people would pop those diet pills and be tweaked to the gills. Hey, mate, that rhymes. Nosferatu, you're a poet and you don't know it. So just looking down, checking the time. Wow, 20 minutes of Gray rambling on. But say, yeah, look out for this movie. Give it a try. You know, it starts off slow. It's kind of setting the scene. There's family drama in there, but it's good to see John, you know, coming out of his shell and then getting into this and, you know, getting caught up in this movement and finding a passion, you know, finding something to be passionate about. John's got a bit of the jungle fever. Spike Lee movie, is that right? Reference to that? I know what you're saying. He's no Gary Stu. Gary Stu. Not sure. There's some pretty decent disco if you look hard enough. Okay, fair enough. And Nosferatu says, Hell's bells are the real deal. I had a friend as a kid who showed up to his parents' house 2 days later, missing his shoes and a shaved eyebrow. Jesus. Are you serious? You sure you just didn't get abducted? Wow. Unbelievable. So yeah, that was my my movie recommendation for the weekend. Really, really good. Really good. Okay, let's see. Let's put the movie poster back up there. Boom. Let's make Grey a bit bigger. You know when I do these on the software, it's called transition, darling. And when I do the transitions, it always kind of goes weird when I watch the playbacks. Kind of whoa, like my computer can't handle it or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the software. I use Streamlabs OBS, by the way, for the live streaming when it's just me. When I'm doing it solo, and when I'm doing the guest streams, I use StreamYard, which is a little bit lower quality. You can't get the best like visual or audio, but it's free, mate, so I can't complain. Okay, so again, there's a poster for it. Let me have a quick read. I want to share the where are we? The window. Have a look at the Wikipedia site. Let's see if this works. Gray, can you do it? Okay. I've got to make myself invisible for this. Going, gone. Okay. So yeah, it was only a small film. Listen to this. The film was a 15-year labour of love for writer-director Elaine Constantine. It was turned down by all the major funding bodies, key festivals and institutional production partners in the UK. The film was eventually funded through a mix of private investors and Constantine's substantial personal investment. So she put a lot of money into this. She was working on it for 15 years. I think she wrote a book about it, or about the Northern Soul scene, you know. So it's great to see, you know. Again, it's not a perfect movie. I'm not saying that, but it's just, you can see it's a labour of love. You know, there's a lot of love on the screen that you can see there. The film was eventually picked up for distribution by Universal Pictures, who sublicensed the theatrical release to Munro Film Services. Now look at this at the top of the box. It only made 1.1 million at the box office. I don't know how much it cost. You know, it's not down. It's only a short film. It's 99 minutes. Got a great cast. I don't know if you probably don't know because there's some British actors and comedians, but there's a guy called Steve Coogan who's been in all sorts of things. Steve Coogan, look out for him. He played Tony Wilson in 24-Hour Party People, mate. That's about Manchester, by the way. Nosferatu. The kind of Happy Mondays story, you know, the acid, the rave scene and all that. There's a singer from Manchester called Lisa Stansfield. She plays John's mum in it. It was nice to see her. There's a cool Scouser, an older man called Ricky Tomlinson. He's great, mate. He's got a really cool, like, proper Scouse accent. He plays the granddad. He's got a huge nose as well. Wait till you see him. All right, mate. He's been in loads of stuff, he has. You know, real, like, working class, talks like that. Like, proper Scouse accent. Do you know what I mean? And I say the two main characters, John and Matt, I didn't know them. They were new to me, new actors. So this is back in 2014. Josh Whitehouse as Matt, great dancer. And Elliot James Langridge. Wow, sorry. Elliot James Langridge sounds very posh. He played John. So there we go. Yeah, so good. And let's go to the reception. It said the film had a warm reception with public and critics alike. So yeah, it was getting good reviews, but again, it wasn't a hit at the box office. What can you do? Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't really hold any credence with, it's got an approval rating of 76% based on reviews from 38 critics. Crickets? What the fuck? Critics. They are crickets, aren't they? Buddy Holly? No. Where are we? The site's consensus is Northern Soul overcomes its spotty narrative with a likeable cast, rich period atmosphere, yes, and a killer soundtrack. That's the one, man. You got to hear the soundtrack. The dance scenes are great, especially later on when it goes to Wigan and the casino. It's really good. Metacritic only has it at 64% based on reviews from 14 critics. But Mark Commode, he's quite famous in the UK. I don't know about this, probably not in the States, but he does a movie review channel on YouTube. He's been doing the review site in The Guardian, the UK. He was one of several critics who gave the film 4 stars, saying, Constantine catches the energy of the dance hall with aplomb, transporting her audiences from the empty floors of dour neighbourhood youth clubs to the throng of the Wigan Casino with urgent ease. Steve Coogan and Ricky Tomlinson add sly cameo support. Definitely worth a spin. So yeah, they're not in it that much, Steve Coogan and Ricky Tomlinson, but very, very cool. Okay, let's get rid of this. Where are we? Get rid of the window. Put grey back on the screen. And let's get the thumbnail as well. Oh, what's happened there? Where's Graham? Nosferatu, where am I? I'm lost. So here we go. Was this character based on your youth? Were you a secret disco dancer? No, I say, come on, mate. I was totally innocent. I was an innocent little boy, a good little boy, most of the time. If you do get around to The Lighthouse or Bone Tomahawk, I really hope you do a review. Do you know what? Before I watched this Nosferatu, I was searching for The Lighthouse on both Amazon Prime, Japan, yeah, and Netflix, Japan. Don't have it. I can't even watch it. I can't stream it. I don't like to do the old, haha, gym lad. I don't like to go down that route because you don't know what you're opening yourself up to. But yeah, I really want to see it. Bone Tomahawk. Okay, I'll put that on my list, and I will promise to get a review out soon. Haha, keep me posted. You would really like Sean Atwood. He's a British former ecstasy kingpin with a great true crime channel. Okay, really. Nosferatu, have you seen 24-Hour Party People? It's worth a look. Again, it's another British independent movie, and it's set in Manchester. Well, North England again, and Manchester plays a big part. It's about there was a big kind of boom in Manchester music around that time. This is before Oasis. This is Happy Mondays, Stone Roses, bands like that, In Spiral Carpets, New Order. Do you remember New Order? Brilliant. Radio, live transmission. Great stuff. Before New Order. It was Joy Division, wasn't it? Sorry, mate, making a mistake. Joy Division before the singer topped himself and they changed and became New Order. Joy Division, New Order. What's going on with the Yahtzee references there? Anyway. 38, Jiminy Crickets. That was so cool, wasn't it? So what do the crickets think of the latest movie? Or whatever. If I can find a non-sketchy link, I'll drop it in the comments. I use a site for movies that's pretty reliable. Okay, mate, cool. I appreciate that. Also, Nosferatu, I know it's a bit of a hassle. You can be bothered, but on my YouTube channel's About page, there's a link to my email. I don't like to shout it out on the air, but I mean that's just my email for this channel. So I think if you click on the box, it says it shows it. You've got to click on it, and you might have to tick the capture box to prove you're not a robot. Are you a real person? Speaking of robots, it was weird, Nosferatu. The stream I did yesterday. I got quite a few little mini bots kept popping in, and there was only like three, 4, or maybe 5 people at the most watching, at one time. How do they find our streams? How do they find these little mini streams? It's weird, isn't it? Fushigi in Japanese. It's a mystery. Okay, speaking of mysteries, I forgot to do this last week. I want to make a habit of every Monday doing a reading from Hagakure, the Book of the Samurai. I want to do a random, just do a random open, see what comes up, and let you know. So, okay, let's get rid of the thumbnail. Let's go back to the movie poster. There we go. So here we go. Nosferatu, say stop. Stop! Okay. It's randomly opened. Okay, here we go. I say this. I have no idea what this is going to be. This is again from Hagakure, the Book of the Samurai. It is a wretched thing that one's family lineage be thrown into confusion with an adoption based on money alone. Such a thing is immoral from the beginning, but it is extreme wickedness to be thus immoral with the excuse that without doing so, one will be unable to afford even today's rice. What? No idea what that was about. Family lineage, adoption based on money, wickedness, immoral, and not having enough money to afford today's rice. Well, I can relate to that, mate. It's working class, isn't it? When the samurai were far from working class, you know, they were the elite of the time, weren't they? They were the ruling class. As Nosferatu knows, I am his daimyo, like Boba Fett, ruling with respect. Oh, Napoleon, nice to see you, mate. Never saw the movie. A 70s setting. Yeah, it's set in the UK, in Britain, in Lancashire, which is near where I'm from, near my hometown. It's a very Northern English setting from 1974. And there was a huge Northern soul, Black American soul music became really popular with the working class whites in the UK. Can you believe that? And there was a big dance scene, kind of around, was it before? Before disco came out, sorry, I can't get my words out. Before disco, so this Northern Soul scene took off big time, but only in the north of England. I don't know why. It wasn't popular down south. So as I said, one of the main characters is a Cockney guy called, I think it's Terry, and he comes up. He's working in this shithole of a northern town because he loves the Northern Soul music scene. So he can go out regularly. He goes to the local. Not disco, the local dance club where they put on these huge Northern Soul nights. Yeah, great stuff. As I say, it might not be on Amazon Prime US, but it's on Amazon Prime Japan at the moment. Hey, so, and also Nuporial and Nosferatu, thank you so much for dropping in the stream yesterday. That was a great chat with really cool new friend on YouTube called Brian, another Brian. Life of Brian, another great movie by the way, but Brian's are taking over Nuporial. What's going on? Speaking of that, again, I'm going off on tangent. Speaking of Brian, I've got a story for you. Nosferatu, you might like this one. This is going back to when I first met my wife, who wasn't my wife at the time. So when I was doing my 1 year working holiday, traveling around Australia with a friend, me and a mate, we kind of did what the guys in this did in a weird way. We were both working at HMV in Manchester. It was a big, really big music store at the time. It's long gone now, unfortunately. Had a great setting, huge shop, great staff in there. Really, people really into music. We used to have a great soundtrack playing all the time. Anyway, but we were paid like shit. You know what I mean? Working class. And my mate's idea, just out of the blue, was like, "Gray, do you fancy going to Australia for a year?" And I was like, what? I'd never even thought about it. I was kind of like, no, panicking a little bit, thinking, what, are you sure? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Yes, I do. I'd love to go to Australia with a year. And I can't believe, he asked me along. But we were good friends, we were good mates. And we started off in Sydney. We did a year there. Working a little bit, traveling, saved up a little bit of money. Not enough, of course, like an idiot, but saved up money before we went. And it was such a great experience. I tell you, mate, that year was unbelievable. Started in Sydney, we travelled up all up the east coast to the top, and then down the centre. We didn't get to the west coast. We didn't go to Perth. Down the centre is through Alice Springs. Anyway, I'm digressing again, but wait a minute, what was I talking about? How did we get here? Oh yeah, so the Brian story. I met my future wife, the wife to be, in a dance club, yeah, in the middle of the night in Sydney. Only been there 4 days. Unbelievable story. The World Cup was on. It was 1998. The World Soccer, football. The World Soccer Cup was on. Me and my mate had gone to a local bar. We didn't know it was a club. It was a bar. We were watching the games. The games were on the middle of the night because the time difference. The World Cup was in France. So Australia, time difference. Australia's close to Japan. Anyway, what happened is we were having a drink in this bar, and then there was these doors, these screen doors kind of slid open at the back of the bar, and there was a club behind it, as part of the building we didn't know. It was called the Rhino Bar. Rhino. Felt very horny in there, I'll tell you that. So, dancing in this club with the World Cup playing in the background on these monitors, the screens, and, me and my mate, we saw these Japanese girls dancing over there on the dance floor. We're like, wow, I was like, hey, she looks all right. And went over and started dancing. Didn't get slapped, didn't get punched, didn't get kicked in the balls like most male characters in all the TV and movies at the moment. I asked her name. I couldn't hear her name because it was so fucking loud in there. And she heard my name, which is Graham. Yeah, really Graham. Gray. Just call me Gray. But Graham, she heard it as Brian, and she remembered me as Brian. So the next time we met, she's like, Brian, how are you doing? That's me, Brian's story. Wow, wasn't that fun? Yeah. Oh, no, Poriel, I hope you're still there. He's probably gone right now. Anyway. So yeah, Nosferatu, that's me. One of my brief Australia stories. Graham became Brian, became Graham, became Gray. Became Grey Sensei. Grey Sensei, that's what the children call me. I became Wakizashi, how can I forget? Wakizashi! So, how are we doing for time? 36 minutes. As usual, this is going to be a short Monday morning for me, a short stream. I'm going to try and go 45 minutes, mate. Can I do it? Can I keep waffling for another 9 minutes? 10 minutes, Nosferatu. We can do it, me and you, together. So let's see. You English lads did steal the blues from America, but you lot sure hell made it better. Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. Oh yeah, blues was in everything, wasn't it? Blues became heavy metal, didn't it? It became rock and heavy metal, or I don't know. Wow, we could argue for days about it, couldn't we? But yeah, totally. All the best music is influenced by the blues, right? Isn't that right? Or the jazz, you can argue jazz as well. Jazz and the blues, a bit of soul. Where are we? Brian seemed very down to earth. He was cool, wasn't he? Yeah, I'm sure Naporiel's down to earth too, but Brian from the Power Grid Comics channel, he was so cool. I loved his accent as well. He's got a really cool, like sexy, slightly Spanish English accent. Oh, so nice. Nosferatu says, I worked at a record store for a little when I was younger too. It's fun to geek out about music all day. Yeah, mate, exactly. It was such a good, it was a good store with really big departments for each genre of music. The main floor was all like rock and soul, rap, metal, all that. We had a great video department upstairs. And then when this is around the time DVDs were coming out, just before that started. So it used to be just videos. Remember those days, mate? Oh, I miss VHS sometimes. I don't miss the quality, but I miss the packaging. I miss the nice big thick slab of a video, a VHS that you buy. You knew what you were getting. I miss vinyl as well, although I never really got into vinyl. Don't you just love the proper vinyl gatefold sleeves? The big, beautiful cover art on the vinyl records. I started out with tapes. That's my generation, man. Buying tapes, and then graduated to CDs. You willed her with your wicked dance moves. No, well, not at all. That's right. It's just like, what do you call it? Dum, 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 dum. Not even dancing, really. Just like waving hands in the air. That kind of thing. Is that your voice in the intro that yells Wakizashi? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, of course. I recorded it on, what do you call it? There's a software called Audacity, which is just for audio. And I thought, first of all, I wanted my daughter to do the intro. And I got her to say it, but she didn't want me to use it for YouTube. She's too shy. It's like, I wanted her to say like, please subscribe, something like that. But okay, I'll do Wakizashi's Tea House. I was thinking, how should I do it? I just want to do it like stupid screaming it in Japanese. Wakizashi's Tea House. There you go. I don't know. I think most people would switch off the video, don't they, when that comes on. That's why Gray still here struggling at 405, is it 6 subscribers, something like that. It's up and down every day. Although Nosferatu saying that, I got a little boost yesterday. I don't know why. I think I got 4 or 5. That's a lot for me in one day. Maybe it's my Pam and Tommy video, which is getting quite a lot of views. It's doing well, but for some reason, last time I checked, it's about 350 views, which is really good for me. In only a few days. But listen to this. 350 views, something like 12 likes. Why does nobody click like on the videos? You know what I mean? I do hear that a lot from other YouTubers. They say, you've got to keep saying it, but I don't want to be doing that. I don't like to say, oh, please like and subscribe, because people can often switch off at that point. It's like, fuck off, mate. Piss off, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I'll leave it till the end when probably no one's watching, where I've got the please subscribe bit. I took it out from the beginning. I don't know what works. Just hoping, you know, go with the flow, and naturally, if you build it, they will come. Not that kind of come. Jesus, where are we? He has a very common. How do you pronounce it? Is it Chicano? Not Chicano. Is it Chicano? Chicano LA accent. Okay, yeah, it's so nice, so cool. When I heard he was from California, I was just like, mate. To me, just hearing that word, you know, there's images of, I don't know, probably 60s and 70s. You know, the old days, like going to California, Led Zeppelin, and really cool times. I've heard it's a shithole though now. The guy I listen to a lot, Gary from Nerdrotic, you know, he's been living in San Francisco for years. He's getting out soon. He's just saying it's turned into a shithole. I really miss going into Blockbuster and smelling all the plastic on the new videos. Good times. Yeah, and seeing like all the art, you know, the video art. That's how I first got into anime, and I wasn't into it that much. In my local HMV, before I was working there, I used to go and shop there. Yeah, this really big HMV in Manchester, and upstairs the video floor they had a anime section, and I bought this. It's become quite legendary. I bought one based on a review in Empire. Jesus, I don't even know if I can pronounce it. I'm going to do another video about this sometime, but it's got a crazy title called something like Urutsudoji, Legend of the Overfiend, something like that. I'm getting the first part wrong. It's, oh, mate. What I didn't know is I was buying the British censored version. Didn't mention that. Completely cut to fuck. But even with the censored version, you know, it's unbelievable. That's right. I recommend that. If you can ever find it, I'm going to do a video about it in the future. I found, where did I get it? I got quite a dodgy quality French version, which I've got saved on my computer. The quality is not great, but it's a full uncensored version. I was like, bloody hell, I've never seen this before. You know, I've never seen these scenes. All I'll say, mate, is tentacles going into places. Fucking hell. Sorry for my bad language. Did she inherit your Manchester accent, or does she have a Japanese one? She's got a bit of a northern British accent. That's what people said when, you know, we lived in Manchester for about two and a half years before we came over to Japan. My daughter was born there as well. So my daughter was actually born in the UK. Born in the UK. And when she came back, her friends were saying like, oh, your English sounds it's changed. I didn't know it was northern, you know, a little bit of a northern Manchester accent. Doesn't sound like me, but a little bit. Yes, you pronounced it correctly. Oh, thank you. Chicano. Chicago. Sorry. Did she inherit? Oh, no. A lot of the time, moderators take care of that. When you get more people, I'll be reminding them. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, I can do it on my own when it's, you know, just a few people. So it's weird, though. How can they find me? The Matrix has me. Because I gave that shit, you know, that kind of mediocre review to the crappy movie. Matrix 4... Piss off, mate, you suck. California's big cities are absolute dumps, but it is pretty. I like Northern California's redwood forests. The trees get over 100 feet tall. Oh yeah, I've heard about those. Very famous. I'd love to see those one day. Again, a little bit like the characters in the movie. It's always been a dream to get to America. One day, when I was a kid, I had a friend who had been to, I don't know if it was Disney World or Disneyland. He'd been to one of them. You know, so lucky. I was so jealous of him. Like, oh, I've been to America, man. And for that side of things, you know, back then we were really into Star Wars. We were collecting all the Star Wars toys. In the UK, they were called Star Wars figures, and they were sold by a company called Palitoy, not Kenner in America. Yeah, Palitoy. Oh, yeah. I always wanted to go to America, partly for Disney World, Disneyland, whatever. You know, partly for the whole culture and comic books, of course. You know, I wanted to walk into like a grocery store or whatever, what do you call it, and just buy an American comic book in America. Ah. What am I like? What a saddo. We can dream, can't we? Nosferatu. If you want good food and good politics, Arizona and Texas are cool. Yeah, that guy was talking about Gary Nerdrotic, who's just hit 400,000 subscribers. Really, really good, really easy to listen to. He's moving to Texas. He's been saying that for like 2 years, but he's almost there. He's almost got out of there. It's been a long process. But he said he got sick of the local politics, got sick of it, the crapness. He was sick of how strict they were with the lockdowns. His wife lost her business because of that, you know what I mean? Same story happened to a lot of people, I believe. Oh God, no! Tentacle hentai. Is that what it's called? Yeah. You see what I mean? I'm so pure, mate, and innocent. I've no idea. Tentacle hentai. You should see it, Nosferatu. Not only that though, it's funny, but it's also what I bought it for. I didn't know because it didn't mention it in the review. It's like Lovecraftian horror. You know, the kind of crazy body cosmic horror, and they are great effects in the movie. It's proper animation. It's not CG. It's before CG. And, you know, some of the monsters and things in it are great, but I didn't know about the hentai angle. I didn't know about the sexual angle to it. And when I was watching my little British censored copy, no idea it had been censored. And even that was great for me back in the day. Oh, God. You were too nice to the Matrix 4. All the fanboys got butthurt at you because the movie they like sucks. Do you know what? I think most of them hadn't even seen it, and they were saying like, you know, oh, you just don't understand it. Oh, it's too clever for you. Matrix, it's not about, you know, action and fight scenes. Get stuff, mate. Disney World is a blast. Expensive as hell, though. Just to go for one day, I'm sure it is these days. You know, this is back in the early 80s. I couldn't believe my friend, how... It wasn't even a rich family, but his dad, I think his dad used to take him... One of those dads who worked away from home. I don't know what he did, you know, but obviously he used to get some money or somehow. He used to take his 2 boys to the States for a holiday. Summer holiday. Oh, that's right. Another thing I used to hear about, because this is living in the UK, yeah, you had like cartoons on all day. He told me they had like cartoon channels on cable. And I was like, cartoons are on TV all day? Are you serious? Couldn't believe it. All the dummies are moving to Austin, Texas, which is full of commies. Really? No way. And Nosferatu, one more. I've had very regrettable movie experiences where you have no clue about it and halfway through you're disgusted. I know what you mean. Okay, here we go. It's getting to close to 6:20. So Nosferatu, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to end the stream in about a few minutes. So... if anybody else is out there, is there anybody out there? Hello? Is there anybody in here? Just nod if you can hear me. Okay, stop now before I get copyright struck. Yeah, it's been great. I love these little Monday morning short streams before going to work. You know, it sets me up for the day. I have to get up really early. You know, it catches up with me later, usually after I've had lunch. We have a school lunch and you get about a 20, 30 minute break if you're lucky. I'm on my desk like this. Doing the, what do you call it, the sitting on your desk with your hand, with your head in your hand asleep, you know, because we're not allowed to bring pillows and do like take a little mini power nap at work. Which, God, I wish you could. So I'll just do this. Put a book on the desk to pretend I'm reading. It's like, close my eyes. Don't even really sleep, but you know, if you just kind of close to sleep, they say that can really help. Just that feeling where you're almost going, you're kind of drifting. Primal Scream, Nosferatu, a recommendation from a UK band back in the days of Happy Mondays, the ecstasy times and all that. Primal Scream, a mixture of rock, soul, a lot of soul in their music, and dance. Bobby Gillespie, another great Scotsman. He's a lead singer. Nay says, you're streaming again. I know, mate. I like to do these. For me, it's early morning before I go to work on a Monday. Early morning streams, but they're only short. I say I'm just about to finish it. Sorry, it's great to see you. Wow, I'm almost at 50 minutes. I think this is the longest one I've done. I'll try and go on for a few more minutes because I say I've got to have a shave, I've got to get ready, get my stuff, you know, get ready for work, have some breakfast. All I've had is a piece of toast, a little mini cup of coffee, a shot of coffee to wake me up, and now I'm on green tea. That's why I'm getting hyper. Tell you what, like yesterday, that was my longest stream yet with Brian from Power Grid Comics, and it went on for almost got to 3 hours. It's like 2 hours 50. I had so much green tea, like I was just like going at 90 miles an hour. I listened back to a little bit of it. I was like, shit, I'm just going, I sound really hyper. I'm talking too fast. I'm not giving Brian a chance to speak. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry, Brian. I need to know, this is all new to me, so I need to know when to be quiet, know when to let your guest speak. And right near, not near the end, but in the stream, I had to take a toilet break. I was like, Brian, I'm really sorry. Can you just like ad lib, just talk for a minute or so? I thought it'd be really quick. It was one of the longest pisses I've had in my life. It just went on forever. When you just can't stop. I was laughing my head off in the toilet, like, Jesus, I can't stop. Too much green tea is the moral of this story. I wasn't even drinking beer. Okay, Nays, we're going to bed. Great. I hope you had a good Sunday, mate. Thank you so much for dropping in again. It was such a good time, the stream the other day. Yeah, I had a great time. No problem, says Nosferatu. If you ever make it to the States, I'll make sure you have an even better time. Oh, mate, I'm coming looking you up if I ever get over there. Definitely. Yeah, will you show me around? That'd be great, mate. Sleazy probably knows Primal Scream. Yeah, he probably does. I mean, they're still going, they're all oldish now. Of course, they were big late 80s. They took off in the 90s. They had an album called Screamadelica where they mixed their indie rock with the kind of dance culture of the time. They got great remixes by some of the big DJs in the UK at the time, and their music was the sound of that summer. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those like sound of the summer soundtracks. So cool. When I listen back to it now, it's dated. And then the next album they did, called Give Out But Don't Give Up, they went totally Rolling Stones 70s style, soul, R&B, soul and rock mixed together, which is another good album, but completely different. I love the way they did that. They went from this, this kind of culture, dancey rave music with a little bit of rock mixed in to, proper rock and roll. I'm sure you'll know some of the songs when you hear them. Jailbird, Get Your Rocks Off. It sounds like a Stones song, doesn't it? Get your rocks off, honey. Can't sing, I'm gone. It was a good time, Nene. Thank you. Cocaine laced tea, I wish. Only joking, YouTube, only joking. Amphetamine laced tea. No? Yeah. Liked how Brian also asked some questions back. Yeah, he was cool, wasn't he? He was saying like it's the first time he's done a live stream with somebody. I don't know if he's done any by himself yet. He's mainly doing comic reviews and he's started covering One Piece anime, the episodes from the beginning. There's over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. How insane is that? But anyway, I digress. So I can see you being a big Oasis fan. Yeah, I was back in the day. Yeah. Do you remember when they came out? They were huge. At one point they were huge. So, as I say, guys, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's 52 minutes. It's 6:23 now, so yeah, I need to start getting ready. I really appreciate you dropping in. I appreciate your comments. You make these streams. It's you, baby. You make these streams. You make me complete. I hope to see you again in a future video. And yeah, maybe we can do something together sometime. Yeah, as I say, I'm still learning the ropes, but when I get a bit more confident, the one I did with Brian yesterday, the software I use for that, I think you can have 6 people totally, yeah? So me plus 5, that'd be great if we could just like have a bit of banter, have a bit of back and forth, have a laugh together. We could do like an open bar thing. That'd be cool. Anyway, something for the future. Okay, so as I say, this is Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House over in Japan. Wishing you a lovely day, lovely night, a good sleep, a good rest of your Sunday, and a great Monday for me. And I hope to see you in a future video. Okay, let's say mata ne. See you next time. Bye-bye. Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.